So this week's YouTube video is actually a really entertaining conversation with a first year podiatry student from Northampton University. Her name's Ektaa Vadgama. She's actually really funny, and you'll when you see this video you'll realise just how funny she is. I kind of reached out to her because I saw these amazing videos appearing on LinkedIn, these videos which were like, where did that come from? Why haven't I seen that before? Really quite insightful, humorous, really good commentary of what's going on, and just really very, very funny and very authentic as well. And I just wanted to have a conversation and just say, right, tell me about that. And as you'll see from the conversation, which it went in a few directions, it really just a conversation between two people having a laugh. But you will see, actually, when it comes to things like video, the actual processes are really simple, but for some people it's not particularly easy. But the processes are simple and anyone can do it. And there's some really good wins to be had there. But I had a great conversation. It was fantastic. And there's a point where she actually flips the conversation around on me and starts asking me questions, which was unexpected, but not unpleasant. So grab a cup of tea or a glass of wine or a beer or a cup of coffee or whatever your drink of choice is. Have a sit down and watch this interview, and also go and check out her social links. Go and look at what she's doing. And if you are in the podiatry and foot health world, go and look at what she's doing, because it's really cool and really interesting stuff, and you can learn a huge amount. So thank you for accepting my offer to come and talk to me and have it recorded and shove it on YouTube and various other channels. So
yeah,
I'm going to call you Ektaa.
Yeah, that's great.
Hey, that was my concern, was I was going to get your name wrong, because I've got a very, very simple name. So Ektaa, thank you very much. Can you, I tell you what, just tell me all about it. Where are you from? What's the origin of you, I suppose? I mean, you can go all the way back to birth if you want, but I haven't got infinite recording space on here.
So basically, I'm mixed race. My mom's Indian, my father's British. And the reason I got into podiatry is because my mom's a podiatrist, and she initially, like, first she was like, yeah, like, do podiatry, and then I was like, no, like, this is, I don't ever want to do podiatry, like, this is not my thing. And she just kept pushing and pushing and pushing. And first I was like, first I did law. So first I did law, and I absolutely hated it. I absolutely hated it. And I was so miserable. And it was just kind of, it was really like soul consuming. And I thought, oh, this is not me. This is 100% not me. And then my mom's like, she tried again. She was like, do you want to do podiatry now? And I was like, yeah, okay, fine. I'll give it a try. And I absolutely love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. Like, I can't get enough. So yeah, and then that's what kind of triggered making videos. Actually, you know what? Videos wasn't even my idea. And what happened was, I was initially making prospectus videos for my tutor, and it was a very serious video, and he was like, hey, like, can you make like a video for us saying like what it's like what the campus is like what is it like studying podiatry? So I did, and I was like, oh man, what would it be like to make a funny video? And then I did, and it got a lot of reviews, and it was just a hit. I loved it. People loved it. I loved it. And it just kind of skyrocketed from there.
It's a buzz, isn't it?
Yeah.
it's a massive buzz. So you're at Northampton University, aren't you?
Yes.
Because I was meant to come out and talk to, I think it was second years or third years? I think it was third years I was meant to come and talk to, and
Yeah.
they kind of invited me, and then they de-invited me, and then it got a bit messy, and it was like a breakup of some sort. But I'm still waiting for the invite. Because I'm not a million miles from there. I'm only about an hour and a half down the road, an hour down the road. So
Yeah.
you went from law
Yeah.
to podiatry.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
No.
No, it is. But you know, I mean, I started off in computers, so that was the route I went, and I still remember my dad getting me. My dad was he still is an insurance broker. Getting me in an interview at an insurance broker's in the Black Country, so not too far from Wolverhampton, and. Yeah. I turned up for this interview, and of course, I'm 16, wearing a shirt, tie, and a suit, which I just never do now. And I always wonder what would it have been like if I'd have carried on down that route. Oh, God, that would just be awful. But you know, insurance was a really interesting place to go. But I didn't find podiatry until, well, I found podiatry from a patient's perspective when I was 20, but I didn't find it as a career until I was in my 30s. So finding your way to that now is really, really good.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's your favourite bit about it, though?
I really enjoy dissections, and it sounds really morbid. It sounds really, really morbid, but I really enjoy doing dissections. And I don't know what it was. It was about like, it was about first weekend we were doing dissections, so we were thrown right into the deep end. And they're like, yep, well, this is what you got to do now. This is going to be your life. And I was like, oh, great. As long as I'm not chopping people up, like, it's fine. Yeah, no.
Oh, that's third year.
Yeah, they have to go back into dissections again for third year. But yeah, no, it was really, really great. I don't regret it at all. What else was I gonna say? Yeah, dissections is my favorite bit, I'd have to say.
Love it. Okay, so we've gathered you love podiatry. We gathered you moved to it from law. You've been pushed into it by your mom, which, you know, parents do that kind of thing. We've done the podiatry's awesome bit. Let's just shift that out of the way. Videos. So the reason I contacted you was I saw your video and I went, oh, that is brilliant, because it was taking the piss. It was a wind up. There was humor in there. It was, I mean, okay, I would say very lo-fi, and I don't mean that in a negative way. It was done some really quite cool editing, but done it in a way which people would be going, well, I couldn't do things like that with the equipment I've got. Now we'll talk about your equipment in a bit. You know, I'm interested to find out what your setup is, because I'm a geek and I love that really high-end stuff. But it was just seeing these videos and going, yeah, okay, there's that person she's putting herself into a video. She's actually turning around and going, I'm going to do a video and I'm actually going to do it and it's going to be me. And that stood out so much. And it honestly looked like you've been doing them for years. I looked at it and went, that's someone who's really comfortable in front of the camera, but I imagine that's not the case.
Yeah, no, not at all. I'm such a shy person. It is unreal. Even doing this today, like, I'm still kind of like a little bit shaky. Like, I don't know how to explain myself. But yeah, no, I just kind of threw myself out there, and I didn't know what kind of feedback I'd get. And my friends and my mom, they're like, just do it. Like, you know, whatever, no matter what anybody says, you're gonna be okay. Like, it doesn't matter what people say. At the end of the day, they're just people. You know, it doesn't matter. And you know, it's just their opinion. You know, you'll be fine. So yeah, no. Here I am.
No, that's really refreshing to hear as well, because there's there tends to be two things which always catch me out. One is ego. That I'll do a video and I'll say something in the video which I think is, oh, that's a little bit controversial, and it's just the way my brain thinks. And I can tell you now, someone said to me, when I did a video, they said, oh, you've said something which is a bit close to the edge there, and I said to them, I said, if you think that's close to the edge, you should be inside my head with the things that I think inside my head. because I'm sure to some degree you're probably the same, that there are things you think, oh, I wish I could say this, but I'm not quite ready to yet, because I'm not ready for any backlash, or I'm not ready to push things. But my ego kind of gets in the way. So I'll be like, oh, I want to say this. And then I'll go, no, I'll say something nice instead.
Yeah.
And it's flipping that over, because there's so many things which we need to say, which people need to hear, but we always kind of hold ourselves back from it. So it's really refreshing to hear you say, actually, it's just words, isn't it? It's just what people think. It's just cool. And when I saw your videos, I was like, yeah, she's saying some really cool stuff. And actually, it's something else I picked up on as well. You were talking about building a brand. You're building your own personal brand, and that as well really jumped out, because my feelings on it is that every podiatrist, every foot health practitioner, every physiotherapist, every osteopath, chiropractor, whatever you are in healthcare or coaching or wellness, wherever it is, needs to have a personal brand of some sort.
Yeah.
So hearing you say that, I think it was on when you joined the group, it was like, oh my God, that's brilliant. Someone's actually thinking further than, I just want to get patients or have a clinic. Actually building a personal brand. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, this is like, at the end of the day, this is going to be my career, and I don't want people just to like sit here and think, oh yeah, she's just making funny videos, that's it. I don't want people to say that. And that was initially why I hesitated joining podiatry in the first place, is because I never thought I would outshine my mom. I thought I was always just gonna like forever be stuck in her shadow, and I hated that. Like I never wanted to do that. So that's why I always kind of put off going into podiatry, because I never wanted to do it.
That's interesting.
But, yeah,
that is interesting.
Here I am, and I'm doing it.
How good's your mom's videos?
Yeah, they're not that good.
See, she's hiding in your shadow for videos, you see. So
yeah, exactly.
So your latest video, you were talking to, if I'm not mistaken, one of the latest videos, you were talking to a foot like it was a telephone. And if I mean, you'll correct me if I'm wrong on this one, that was a video which seemed to be around you've got a podiatrist who is worried that their patients will have forgotten about them, and they contact their patients to go, do you still love me? Do you still need me? And the patients go, yeah, I still love you, I still need you. And you're like, oh, thank you very much, that's brilliant. Because and even with all the humor and you talking to the foot on that one, and like a phone, that is actually quite a serious commentary as well. There's a really serious element to that, because there's lots of people who are concerned, and there's lots on the forums as well. I'm sure you're on the forums where you see people going, I stopped work for a while during COVID, and there was another practitioner who carried on going, and they ended up picking up some of my patients. So there's a genuine concern that patients don't forget about us. If we're good and we stand out and we've got a good personal brand, they don't. But I thought that was brilliant. I thought that was a really good kind of social commentary. And it was like on LinkedIn as well. What's going on here? People don't know what to do about things like that.
Yeah.
Why did you want to talk about that? What was the kind of what was the idea behind that?
So the idea behind that was it was actually kind of stupid. I just saw podiatrists getting incredibly worked up and worried over maintaining their patient list. And I mean, it's COVID, your patients aren't going away anywhere. COVID isn't going anywhere. So what do you have to lose? They're gonna be there, you'll be okay. So that was that, and that video, and it's just one of those things where I had an idea in my head, the video happened, and done. It's done.
That's really cool, because so many times people will start doing videos. I mean, the conversation I've been saying to people for years and years, do video. it is probably the best thing to get patients into your clinics, because it connects you. And people talk about know, like, and trust in kind of the usual marketing stuff.
Yeah.
But you can type something, you can type a post out, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
And patients will go, yeah, that's nice. Yeah, it's all fluffy and beautiful. I love that. And it's saying all the right things. You can do an image post and it's like, yeah, I connect with that. It looks really good. Oh, look, it's a picture of a dog. You know, all that stuff works really well. But video connects people in a far greater way. Yeah, I say to people, do video. And they're like, oh, no, I don't. I've got a big nose, or I sound like I'm from Birmingham, or I've got a really big forehead. And it's like, yeah, me too. And did you see me doing videos? No, what do you mean? How dare you? Your forehead's not as big as mine. Just stop it. So, but it's just, look, you want a forehead like this. Look at that. Mine goes all the way back here. But it's all these things people turn around. Say again.
So this is the first time I've met you, and you're making fun of my forehead. This is
you know, I'm from Birmingham. No, I was making fun of my forehead, not yours. I could make fun of yours if you want. There you go. That's another person who hasn't even graduated who I've made leave podiatry. This is just terrible. But you say to people, though, do video, and they you see them visibly just sink. It's like you're a dementor. It's like you're something from Harry Potter, just sucking the life out of them. And if you want to laugh, I mean, if anyone who watches this, wherever it is, you want to laugh, go and look at my videos from 2015. Go and look at this overtly professional, trying to hide his Brummie accent, wearing a shirt and talking about, I'm the most professional person in the room and I'm going to treat your toenails with this thing which drills holes in it. It is the most utter piece of crap you have ever seen. The irony is it got me patients, which is what we intended to do. But it took me probably 2 years of fluffing around, focusing on the equipment, focusing on the editing, focusing on all kinds of stuff, instead of actually focusing on the most important thing, which was me just doing the video.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Like, you need to pay attention to yourself, because you're essentially like you're the business. That's it. Like, it doesn't get any more complicated than that.
That's really nice. It's really nice of you to say.
All right, settle down.
See, first time we met and you're complimenting me already. This is brilliant. I could do this all day. This is great.
No, but like that's what I'm saying is, like, you need to put yourself out there. Like, it's, you know, you are the business. Like, it doesn't get any more complicated than that. Like, it's okay, you're making an ass out of yourself. And you just, like, people will find that funny. People will connect to that. And then they'll want to come see you. Like, they want to see somebody who's having fun with what they're doing. And that's it. It doesn't get any more complicated than that at all.
Well, that's the conversation over then, isn't it? You've just summed everything up in about 10 minutes. That's it. You've just ruined it for everyone. That's it. You've just basically shown that this process is very, very easy.
Yeah.
But you'd be, I would say you'd be surprised how hard people find it, but you won't be, because you look around at how many people can do this. I mean, everyone has a studio in their pocket, a camera, an editing suite, an uploading suite. They have the ability to do anything they want from their pocket. And people don't. And I know people get plagued with the whole, I don't know what to talk about. Just talk about what you've done today. Oh, that's really boring. Well, it's boring to you, but it's not boring to other people.
Yeah, like, I mean, you can find any way to make it funny. You can find humor in anything, and that's what people. Yeah. That's what people love. Just chat and even chat shit. People will love that. That's great.
Okay, so let's find some humor in something. Find me something funny in nail surgery.
Oh, find you something.
I'm putting you on the spot now. So
yeah, I think the funniest part about nail surgery is just like yanking the nail out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's funny that you have to just twist and pull. Like that's, for me, that's perfect. I love it.
So that's a TikTok video in the making, isn't it? With sound effects. That's a, right, film me doing nail surgery. And what you can do is, instead of having that kind of sort of, pass the phenol, 3 minutes, la, 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 you could actually have this whole kind of noise. And then you could have a at the end, and you could make some, boing, some kind of cartoon noises. There we go, that's TikTok sorted.
Or something.
Yeah, but this is the thing where we start to make fun of it a little bit more. I mean, the thing I love is stories. I absolutely stories connect people, and as you do more stuff, and your mom will have stories which you can steal, loads and loads of stories. Oh, brilliant stories, and you can tell those stories. I have, oh, excuse me, I have stories from nail surgery working for the NHS many years ago. Because some of them are probably highly inappropriate, so I won't tell those now. But there was one story which I remember. There was a lad of 15 who got himself into such a kind of a hyper state of adrenaline from his build up to the whole procedure. And when we got the toe numbed and he actually touched the toe, he wasn't expecting it to feel so numb. He was just like, and it was almost like he'd had a visit from a god. It was just like he was just in, it was like in another place. It was like he was on drugs, and it was just from the awe of touching this toe, which was like numb. Oh my God. It was absolutely hilarious to watch. And I'm sure for him, it was absolutely euphoric. It's things like that, which, I want to capture that and have that as a video, capture his response and have it as a video. And if I thought about it, I would have done it then.
Yeah. Good stuff.
So what's your next video going to be about?
So my next video is going to be it's going to be a reaction video on just like podiatry memes or podiatry puns, just people, things people find funny about podiatry, because feet are kind of hilarious. They are pretty funny. They're funny to look at. Like who looks at feet and thinks, yeah, I totally do that. Like nobody would think that. No, nobody would think that.
Some people do.
Yeah, you've got
you've
got your freaks. Yeah, you've got your freaks. I'll give you that. But nobody looks at feet and think, oh yeah, that's so attractive. No one's gonna look at feet and think that. So that's gonna be my next video. Is gonna be a reaction video on finding feet funny, I guess. Just like feet puns or feet humor. And that'll be it.
That'll be the last video you ever do, because we've just ruined your career.
That's it. My career is done.
But it's that observation of life, isn't it? It's the observation of the normal and finding something a little bit, looking at it and going, I wonder if I just moved over here and looked at it. Oh my God, look at that. That's just freaky. I mean, that's just really weird. I did a video the other week. It hasn't seen the light of day yet, but it will do at some point, where I get my wife's phone and I put an image of something nasty, like a fungal toenail. Yeah. And I film my children and go, I'm going to show you something. You ready for this? And I show it to them and I film their response.
Oh, that's
hilarious, because I've got 14-year-old said no, or 15-year-old said no, I'm not doing it. The 12-year-old was like, yeah, I'll have a go at that. He's fine. And the youngest was like, yeah, I'll do that. And the youngest is like, well, the eldest boy was like, oh no, that's nasty. The youngest kind of looked at it and went, oh, that's all right. And it was like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? But it is those kind of reactions. So there's a video in that. It's really interesting, the responses that people have, and capturing those responses, because I think a lot of people a lot of people don't know what podiatry is, and that's another reason to get out there and do videos and brand yourself, is people don't know what podiatry is. I don't know what we can do and how we can help, and I find that really frustrating. But also when people do know what we do, there's even a point where they don't really know what we do. And I told a story ages ago, out of sheer frustration, where I had a patient in the clinic, lovely lady, been treating her for years, treating some cracked heels, really nasty athlete's foot and fungal nails, very sensitive feet. It was treated for ages. And halfway through a consultation, she said to me, she said, Dave, she said, I've had a bit of pain in my heel. And my ears prick up and go, oh, I've got an MSc in biomechanics. Let's get this, let's get stuck in and do it. And she went, yeah. She goes, I went to the doctor and asked his advice, and he told me it's something, and gave me some exercises. What do you think? And I just thought, oh man, here I am as the foot specialist, and you don't even know that's the thing I do. You didn't even think to contact me or come to me first. What have I done wrong? And that is not an uncommon thing for people not to know what we do. So anything which gets us in the public eye, what we're doing has got to be a good thing, in my opinion. I'll get off my high horse now and stop ranting.
No, that's fine. It's it's really entertaining to watch. But yeah, no, like it's kind of funny that people don't understand what podiatrists do at all, and they'll think like, oh well, what do you find interesting about feet? Well, I don't know. Like there isn't really anything interesting about feet at all, but it's just there's so much that you have with feet that you have no idea that could cause problems.
Yeah.
Right, like you're on your feet all day. You take them for granted. You don't really appreciate them for what they are, and you have like it's just really frustrating because I don't even know how to explain it. But yeah, you're on your feet all day, and you take it for granted that you don't really look after your feet that well. Do you see what I mean?
I feel like you're talking to me now. I'm feeling judged now. You'd be right. I don't, but yeah.
But yeah, no, but that's the thing though. Like people are on their feet all day. They totally take their feet for granted. You're not wearing proper footwear. You're not wearing proper orthotics or anything like that. Like things that help your feet, and essentially that they help you. But it's so frustrating. It is so frustrating. It's mind-numbing is what it actually is.
So if you had to explain what podiatry is in a sentence, what would you say?
Podiatry in a sentence. That's a good question. Ooh. Podiatry in a sentence. Essentially, podiatry in a sentence would be, it would be just basic foot care. Basic foot care. And you've really got me thinking now.
Sounds like a video as well.
Yeah, just basic foot care is what podiatry would be for me. Yeah, what about you? What do you think?
There's always a little story. There's a story with everything for me. It's like if I can't give a straight answer, I have to tell you a story first. I did some networking back in 2017, and I went to a thing called BNI, Business Networking International. And BNI is the breakfast meeting on a Tuesday morning or whenever morning it is with weirdly cooked bacon and really dodgy eggs, and eventually you get so annoyed you've got to have porridge. And every so often you do a 10-minute presentation, and every so often you stand up and you have to, every week you have to stand up and do a 60-second presentation or talk. So a 60-second pitch. And I got really annoyed with going, I'm a podiatrist and I'm a specialist in the foot and leg care area, and I deal with this and I deal with that and I deal with the other. And I just said, look, I said, podiatry is complicated. I said, the easiest way to think about me is that I am a foot and leg magician. And left it at that. And they were kind of like going, oh, what's that? And then, of course, everyone came up afterwards and go, what's that? Can you tell me a bit more? And I went, oh, I'm onto something here. It's a far from serious kind of answer to the question, what's a podiatrist? But it made people go, oh, I want to find out a little bit more. And I ended up using that. In fact, I've got a page, which is the foot and leg magician. I ended up trademarking the damn name because it was just easier to have. And had memes done up and all kinds of stuff. But it was a great way of saying, and people say, well, what does that mean? I say, well, I find problems with your feet and legs that you don't even know you have, and then fix them in ways which look like magic. And they were like, okay, that's really good. And I know it kind of avoids the whole sort of, we're degree trained specialists who deal with the lower limb, and we do this and we do that, which is, for me, is really, really boring. And
it is, yeah.
You've got to be able to stand out. I mean, I remove people's toenails sometimes with anaesthetic. You've got to find a way of standing out so people either go, oh, that's awful, or they go, oh, tell me more.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's always interesting. I'm always interested in how people would describe podiatry, and I think the way you kind of think of it now will be very different to the way that you think of it in 12 months, which will be very different to the way you think about it 12 months after, and then 10 years. And then you'll think about it in completely different ways as your experience, as your exposure, as people respond to you, it will change over time. I'm not the same podiatrist I was when I graduated 13 years ago. Thank goodness. Yeah, 13 years. Oh my God. I can't get that time back either. That's the only problem.
You can't get your hair back either.
No. Oh, I've only been on a call for a bit and you're already offended. Yeah, I never suffered from lockdown hair problems. That was the thing. Yeah. But this is really cool. At the moment we're just chatting, people are going to be watching this going, they're just having a conversation, which is the whole idea. You can take the piss out of me now. That's brilliant. This is great. You can give us. I might have to try and take the piss out of you now. No, I won't. That'd be really cruel. But maybe I should. No, I won't. That'd be very, very cruel. So okay, let's talk before you have a go at my very bald head anymore. Let's talk about equipment. Just because, I did a video. I don't know if you saw the video I did on YouTube a few weeks ago, which is it was one of my nice edited ones where the question is, do video. People go, what equipment do you use, Dave? And that's the wrong question. The question is, how do I make video? Not what equipment do I use. But the equipment is kind of important because if you've got equipment which is really bad, you're not going to be able to do too much with it. It's going to be a really bad output. But if you want to have a good idea of what you've got. So what do you use?
I just use my iPhone, and I use an app called Clips, and that's it.
Which one? Who does Clips? Is that Adobe does Clips, or?
It's just Apple that does Clips.
Yes, I have come across Clips. I can't stand it, but it's okay. It's okay. I have come across it. It's not my favorite at all. But yeah, no. Okay, so really, really simple. You've got effects in terms of you can do the black and white, you can do the flickering, you can do. Has it got music in it as well?
Yeah.
So you got music in there too, and you edit all that on your iPhone.
Yeah.
No, it's brilliant. It's refreshing. It's absolutely refreshing to see that. When you did the video for Northampton, what equipment was that? Was that doing it on your phone as well?
Yeah, phone, tripod, and you're done. It's very, very simple. It's really not hard. I just used, and then for the back screen, I just used my tripod and so I've got this little clothes rack, I guess, and then I just put a scarf around it as my green screen. Yeah.
I'm getting all geeked out here. This is why I have sparkly lights in the background so I can look like a real filmmaker.
They're called fairy lights, Dave.
No, they're sparkling. Shh, stop it. Okay. I even had, if you look on some of the real old videos, the wall behind is even this kind of Victorian house kind of off-white color, and I painted it black so you couldn't see the black wire. That's how. But you'll find. But I'm sure you've done this when you've started making your films. Your first film, you're like, yeah, okay, just talking to it, it's fine. Then you'll watch it back and you'll go, oh my God, I didn't realize that was in the background. Right. And then you'll start looking, every time you do a video after that, you'll start checking out, you'll be like, right, trying to frame yourself up in the shot and go, no, that looks wrong, and I've got to move around. Oh, what's that cat doing in the background? And you start moving around to set it all up. And you become really quite obsessed over it. Yeah. So we can't talk about excessive amounts of equipment, so that's kind of out the water. Oh, you've blown that argument out the way for a lot of people. Excessive amounts of editing with really fancy apps, we've blown that one out the water. The overthinking it and not taking action, we've blown that out the water. I think people are running out of excuses to make video here.
Yeah. I mean, like, just make a stupid video, see what happens.
Maybe we need to set up a video challenge for people.
Yeah. I think that would be great. Just to kind of like see what happens. Like, what's the worst thing that's gonna happen to you? Nothing. People are gonna say something bad for 2 seconds, and then they'll get over it.
We had you've seen the Toe Bro? Have you seen his videos?
Yeah.
So I got on I had a Zoom call with him last year, I think it was. We had a chat, and he's just an amazing guy. He's 750 odd thousand subscribers to his YouTube channel, which is just immense. The videos he does are just are just fantastic. I was chatting to him about one video in particular he did, which is where he was moving premises, and he was telling a story. He was telling the story of when his dad set up as a chiropodist in Canada. His dad's from the Philippines, so he came across, set up as a chiropodist, and he'd been in the same doctor's office as his dad, and then he sold it when he moved to another doctor's office. And he was telling this whole story about taking down the sign on the wall and all of this. And I was talking to him about that. It was just amazing listening to him kind of talk about all that stuff. And he had the same kind of idea of just get on and do it. Excuse me. And I ended up on a pod chat live with him and I forgot the name now. That's really bad. She's great. She's an Australian podiatrist, and she is brilliant.
You're getting old.
No, I know. This is terrible. 2027 is not good for me at all. And
not good for anyone.
It's been on. That's why I've got good lighting to distract things. And I've forgotten her name now. That's really bad. But she's brilliant. I think it's PodFit Podiatry. Yeah. She's amazing. And she's doing some really cool stuff on video as well. And the three of us were around just talking about using video for your practice.
Yeah.
And it was just, we got talking about what was the worst thing which anyone said to you after putting a video out there.
Yeah.
And I don't think John had anything really, really, really bad. I don't think the girl who's never forgotten, which is terrible, has had anything really, really bad. Melissa Zachariah, there you go. I don't think Melissa had anything bad to say to her. I knew it would come back to me in the end when the synapses kicked in, and so I did the medication. And I only ever had one thing bad said on any of mine. And in hindsight, it's not bad at all.
Yeah.
I did a video on my Foot and Leg Magician page, and this guy who was actually a podiatrist tagged his other mate in who was a podiatrist. Excuse me. And he said,
are you okay?
Yeah, I'm dying. It's terrible. It's terrible. Don't worry. Don't get too concerned. The three numbers you need are all 9s. You can just put them together in a line. It'd be great if you call someone now. So this guy came on and tagged his mate. Said, "Here, look at this." His mate came along and said, "He's not a magician. He's a twat." And that was it. And that was it. And I was wounded. I was like, oh my God, somebody doesn't like one of my videos. Somebody doesn't see what I'm trying to do. Somebody doesn't see the effect I'm trying to have on the world. And it was a really stark reminder that actually it doesn't matter what I think. People make their own judgments about your video, but apparently I'm not a magician, I'm a twat. So what do you do with that information?
Nothing. You just accept being a twat, and then that'll be it.
So I'm old, I'm bald, I've got a cough, and I'm dying, and I'm a twat. Okay, fine. This is not looking particularly good for me.
Oh my god. That's insane.
There we go. That could be good. That's good for branding anyway, isn't it?
That is really good for branding.
No, I think you're going back to the stuff which stood out. There's not many people in our industry who are doing what you're doing, and I suppose to some degree doing what I'm doing. There are very few people. Jackson, I know you know Jackson. He's doing Jackson's doing some immense stuff, and shout out to Jackson. He's rocking it at the moment. Absolutely love the stuff he's doing.
He's all right.
He's not old and dying like me, but no, Jackson's cool. Got a lot of time for Jackson. But he's got a really good vision. He's got a really good vision of what he wants to do and who he wants to help, and he's got amazing amounts of drive. So I've got a lot of time for Jackson's stuff, and he's helping a lot of people as well. Yeah. And when I saw your stuff, I was like, yeah, there's something really cool there, and something which probably to try and capture it and just say, okay, what is it which is really good here, and what can people learn from it? And for me, it's just screw it, let's do it, just do it anyway. Then there's the fact that it's not as difficult as you think it is, and the third thing for me is you've got to have fun with it. You've got to be willing to take the piss out of yourself and others, obviously, because you do that very well. But I won't mull over that one.
I don't take myself seriously at all, and I think my mom kind of like she likes it, but at the same time she's like, oh, why? Like, she's just embarrassing me. It's fine. Yeah, it's okay.
No, I love it. I love the freshness of it. I love the fact that what you do really stands out, and that for me, makes a huge difference. I mean, I'll stop complimenting you now because we don't have to get awkward, do we? There's certainly some things you could do to improve it. No, I won't go down that route of trying to improve things.
Oh, that's okay. I don't mind hearing it.
So the next video is going to be, I had this conversation with this guy the other day who's not a magician, and he didn't compliment me enough. Yeah. No, the thing is, it's been great actually just to meet you and talk to you. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what you're going to do. It's the cheesy stuff. I can see great things. Well, I can see you, if you continue doing what you're doing, it's going to make an impact whatever happens. And I know before we kind of started recording, we were talking about, what if the ego stuff, what if people say this, what if people say that? There will be people out there who don't like what you're doing, and they don't like what you're doing, not because what you're doing isn't brilliant. They don't like what you're doing because it shows up in them the things they're not doing. They look and they go, I'm not doing that. And instead of me looking at what I could do to make sure I do that and get better, they'll look at you and go, well, you're wrong because you're doing it and you're making me look bad.
Yeah, absolutely. I could not agree more.
So I'm really looking forward to where you're going to go and what you're going to do. No pressure.
I've got more videos coming. So I'm
excited. I'm excited by that. That is brilliant. So these videos which you're going to put out there, where do people find you for these videos? Let's plug your social channels.
Oh, right. Okay. So I've got Instagram, I've got Facebook, obviously LinkedIn. LinkedIn is there. LinkedIn is for everybody. And just, you can find me anywhere. I'm quite accessible when it comes to social media. And that is the end.
And thank you. Goodbye. You've also got a blog as well. Don't forget your blog.
Oh, my blog, sorry. Wait a minute.
Perfect time. She turned the video off as well. There you go. She's back again. Look at this. See,
Okay,
this wasn't planned at all. You see.
I'm just an idiot. Sorry, guys.
No. Do you know if anyone, whoever's still watching this to the end, will realise that this is just a conversation. We're just having a conversation here, and whatever happens, happens, and that's why it's so much. I'm loving this. This is great.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, my blog is it's just like a summary of my thoughts. And I really wanted to talk about podiatry, and I really wanted to talk about like just, I don't know, basic things people need to hear and see, and that's it. Like, you know, I don't know how to explain myself. This is not going so well. Oh, it's the worst interview ever.
No, this is brilliant. This is brilliant. I'll tell you why it's brilliant. People go, oh well, I can't talk about anything because I'll it won't be polished and it won't be perfect. And actually, it's this stuff. I mean, the number of times I've got outtakes where I belch by mistake, and I've actually put some of them out there. Because it's like, well, it happens, you know, it happens in real life. Why can't it happen on a conversation with someone? Obviously not, you know, you don't want it to happen on a conversation.
Yeah.
So it's this kind of stuff which people connect with is the really, I suppose flawed was going to be the word I'd use, and I don't mean that in any disrespect to anyone, but it's the stuff which, sorry. But it's the stuff which you almost don't want people to see. And I've spoken to someone today about this where I've said to them, you know, there's a really good video which I haven't done yet, which is it's got two statements to it. One is, these are the things I want you to know about me, and the second statement is, these are the things I don't want you to know about me. And it's not having the guts, but it's being thunder. It's being vulnerable enough to talk about the things which you wouldn't openly talk to about anyone else. And I think there's a point you get to where you start to show your flaws. So an example for me in podiatry is when I started talking about having spina bifida and having a club foot and the ulcerations I'd had when I was 20, I'd never really told those stories I told them to patients when we were in clinic together, but I'd never told it openly on social media. And suddenly that level of vulnerability, because it was quite hard to talk about something which, you know, maybe walk with a limp and have one leg which is dodging, give me back pain and all those other things. To talk openly about that and the problems I had with it, and you know, all of the issues and how I was feeling and the psychological stuff, it's like a serious bit of conversation, this, isn't it? But it was all of the stuff where you're sharing stuff which you don't want people to know about, but it connected people in an amazing way. And I was like, okay, what does this mean? No, it doesn't necessarily mean anything apart from the fact that what people like is they like authenticity. And I know the word gets chucked around a lot, and people like real stuff. People like the fact that, you know, we're having a conversation. It's just a conversation that you're going, I don't know what to say next. And I'm going, oh, what can I ask her where she's not going to take the piss out of me? You know, there's so many different sides to it. And it's just a real conversation. But people really, really enjoy this. It's why people like the Joe Rogan interviews, which go on for days, where he's interviewing Elon Musk and they're all getting stoned. You know, it's, hang on, I mentioned stoned on a podiatrist. Oh no, I'm going to be, I'd say HCP, so you'll come down after me now. But it's this kind of stuff that people love. So no, it's cool. There you go. That was my little kind of rant about how cool it is just to talk about anything.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Should we ask you some completely random questions?
Okay, shoot.
If today was your last day on Earth, what would you have for dinner tonight?
I would have. Oh, there's a Scottish meal called haggis.
Never heard of it.
I don't know what it is. It sounds absolutely disgusting, but I love it. I love it. And it's like the most disgusting thing you've ever like heard of. And I just, it's so good.
I believe it's sheep's stomach stuffed with barley and various other herbs and spices and barley.
Yeah, that's the stuff. Yeah.
My friend Linda is extremely Scottish. She's a wee Glaswegian lass, and so I'll have a chat. I'll see him get you some haggis. I'll have a chat. She gets some haggis. I guess haggis for you. Okay, so that's your last meal. After that meal, what would be? And you sit down to watch a film. What film would you watch?
Ooh, oh my God. What would be my last film? Okay, yes. Die Another Day with Pierce Brosnan. Oh my God, what a hunk. I love that man. Yes, I love him. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan did. Oh, what was the first Bond film he did? I can't remember the name of the first Bond film he did. We'd had. Oh, goodness me! Timothy Dalton had been Bond. This is back in the 90s. So when I was a bit younger than I am now, and Timothy Dalton did Bond, and it was that cheesy kind of Bond. And then Pierce Brosnan came along and played Bond, and it knocked it up a level. His Bond I thought was absolutely brilliant. You look back on it now, and it's a bit kind of cheesy. It's a bit like, but he was earmarked for Bond.
Yeah.
Much earlier, but he couldn't be Bond because he had other commitments. He was playing a character called Remington Steele. There you go. That's you see that saying Pierce Brosnan and Remington Steele. Your camera's frozen. Your camera froze for a moment, then in just complete surprise. So he played a character called Remington Steele, who I think was like a private eye secret agent type thing as well, over in America, and that's how that was, I think, how he got picked up as Bond, but he couldn't play Bond because he was still doing that. I'm just really worried that I can remember that it was Remington Steele. That's really quite sad that I can remember that. So Pierce Brosnan, okay, that's quite cool. Okay, and what band would you go and see live?
Ooh. I think, okay, definitely not One Direction. That's not happening.
Thank goodness for that.
No,
where's the end button on this call? One Direction. Get off.
Bye.
Yeah, thanks for this. Delete.
Oh my God. Who would I see live? Do you know what? I love Rihanna. I love her. So it's not going to be a band. I think it would definitely be Rihanna. I would see her live.
Cool. Okay, I can go with that. That's acceptable.
Yeah.
Well, at least it's raining outside. You'd have an umbrella, so that would be quite useful at the moment anyway. So.
Oh my God.
And okay,
one
more.
What about you?
What about me?
Yeah, what about you? Like you're asking all these questions, and you're not giving any answers.
Okay, go on. Okay, that right. Do it. Okay.
Last band you'd ever. Oh no. Last meal you'd ever have.
Oh, I would probably have a really good curry.
Oh.
Probably something like. Oh goodness me! What was the one I had? The one I tend to go for is a decent chicken tikka masala, but that's dull. So I would. No, I love curry. And I never used to like curry. When I had my first house, I built my first house. I bought it in an area in Stourbridge, which has it's a really big kind of mixed race population, very, very, very big Indian population. Loads of curry houses. I didn't even like curry. And it was like, why have I moved here when every shop is a curry house? It's just wrong. So I learned to like curry. But the curry which I have never mastered in all of these years has been one of the lamb mince curries. They
Oh,
always come out a little bit kind of too salty or just not right. So the perfect lamb mince curry would be perfect. That would be for me with a really nice garlic naan and a
oh,
couple of chapatis, and I'd just be like, oh my goodness me, that'd be lovely.
yeah, yeah. I feel you, Dave. I feel you. Um, what about last band you'd ever see?
Oh, well, the last band I went to see was a guy called Stephen Wilson, who was in a band called Porcupine Tree, and he has some of the most amazing concept style albums, like the long form albums. But if I was going to see any bands, I'd resurrect Queen. I would see Queen.
Yes, 100%. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, because I missed the chance. One of my dad's friends, who's sadly dead now, he saw Queen play Stafford in, I think it was New Year's Eve 1974. Like the proper Queen 2 album era, Queen 2 Night at the Opera, possibly Day at the Races, those kind of era where it was really
Oh my God.
in a crowd, no safety, no big burly bouncers trying to push you off the stage. You're there right in front of them. But I'd love to see Queen live.
Yeah. Oh wow. That would simply be amazing for me. Okay, so what was your other question that you were going to ask?
Film. It was film, wasn't it? The other question I was going to ask was about book. Your favorite book?
My favorite book. Ooh. That's good.
And you can't say Neil's Disorders of the Foot. That's just a cop out.
Come on.
No.
Oh my God. Do you know what, Dave? You absolutely just ruin everything. Did you know that?
Do you know, it's the second time someone said that to me today, and the other one was my wife, and the second was the divorce lawyer she's talking to. So yeah, it's a bit of a theme going on here, isn't there?
Sorry.
If only I was joking. I'm just going to check now. I haven't got Neil's disorder. Do you know, this is really embarrassing for a podiatrist that I do actually have Neil's Disorders of the Foot on a shelf down there.
Wow.
And that's an old version. This is you won't see this. This was a version when I trained. So this is about 2005, I think.
That's good. That's good stuff.
We got all the classics down here.
Oh wow. Oh, look at that.
Yeah. 1863, that one. So anyway, book. You were going to tell me about the book.
Well, it was going to be Neil's, but then you said I couldn't say that. So.
What's your second favorite book then?
Right. It would be Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, good call. Good call. I used Grey's Anatomy a huge amount during my undergraduate studies because it was just a really nice text to understand, and we could get it online as well.
Yeah, that's true. What am I? Sorry. I just need to charge the phone. It's dying.
Just to show you that real life does actually carry on, and this is a real conversation.
Okay. Yes.
You ever seen it's a thing called the IT Crowd? You ever seen the comedy series, The IT Crowd?
Oh yeah. I've seen that one.
They have a scene in there where I think the guy's name's Renham. I think it's Renham. It might be Renham, might be his son. He's the guy who owns the business at the very beginning, and he gets found out for some irregularities in the accounts. So he opens the window on the whatever floor they're on and jumps out and kills himself, which is obviously very, very sad. But in the kind of the humorous thing, it's quite comical, just the way it all happens. they then go to his funeral, and as part of his funeral, they play a DVD of his last will and testament.
Yeah.
And during that whole process, he picks up an apple and he starts eating the apple, and they watch him. All the people at the wake are watching him on the TV while he's eating this apple. And it was kind of like then you plugging your phone in was just like, it was like at that moment where it's just like, yeah, we're just going to wait for you. It's fine. You were asking me questions to turn.
Oh my
God. This is going to be the sickest edit ever because I'm not going to edit it. But you were asking me questions, weren't you?
Sorry?
You were asking me questions.
Yes, I was asking you questions. I was going to ask you. You had another question for me. It was
about the book was the last one. There was a film question, which was the Pierce Brosnan one.
Yes. So what would be your last film?
Oh, that is a really good one.
See, now you know how I feel. Now you know how I feel.
Blimey.
Take your time. I'll be here.
Yeah. That's cool. You've plugged your phone in now anyway, so you've got power.
Yeah.
I would probably go for The Breakfast Club.
Oh, that's good. That's a good film. Okay. Right. That's good. I like that. That's a good answer.
Thank you. I'm glad I answered it well. You haven't asked me about book though. That's the other one.
Sorry?
You haven't asked me about book.
I haven't what?
Ask me about the book.
Oh, what about the book?
Oh, I can't remember. I can't read. It's fine. Books, blimey. I spend a lot of time reading kind of personal development style books. So I have to really force myself to read something different. I haven't read a podiatry book in a little while.
There's probably a good... There's probably a reason for it.
Well, yeah, I can't read, but I am currently reading a trilogy of books by a guy called Philip Pullman, called it's the Northern Lights, the Subtle Knife, and the Amber Spyglass, which is his Dark Materials trilogy. And I'm reading those because there's a prequel. Well, there's 3 books he's writing at the moment.
Yeah.
Where it's meant to be a prequel, but the first book comes before the trilogy, and the second book comes after the trilogy. So it's almost like I'm going to be reading books 2, 3, and 4. I've already read book 1 afterwards, and now I'm going to be reading book 5. It's a bit weird. So I wanted to go back and read the original 3 books to get myself back into the mind of what's going on. But yeah, those are the books I like. So
you know what? That kind of reminds me of like Star Wars. Do you know how they did? Do you know how they did like they did like 4, like they did 4, 5, and 6, and then they made 1, 2, and 3.
Well, they actually did 1, 2, and 3. They just then shoehorned in another 1, 2, and 3 because I think George Lucas wanted some more money to finish off his ranch.
Probably, yeah. Ranch is really good though.
But to have those 3 films that as the abomination that they are is just wrong. They're just awful films. And then the three they did afterwards, where episode 7 was quite cool. Episode 8 was a bit of a mismatch of what the hell's going on here, and introducing different characters at different points, and Princess Leia flying out the window for no apparent reason. And then episode 9 actually I was really annoyed at because it actually made me go to sleep in the cinema. Seriously, I did actually fall asleep in the cinema. I was that bored by it. But anyway, that's really embarrassing. So anyway, let's not go. We could just be like, this is like the Truman Show, isn't it? Just watch David Ektaa just talk for ages about random stuff. So I tell you, so we're going to chat after this recording is finished briefly anyway, if you've got a moment, because that'd be really cool. Because I've got plenty of questions which we don't want to record. But I'm really grateful for you coming on, and like I said, when I reached out to you, I love what you're doing. I absolutely love what you're doing. I love the energy. I love the openness. I love the honesty. There's such cool stuff coming. There really is. I'm just looking forward to it. It's going to be brilliant. So thank you.
Yeah.
That was a compliment, by the way, and you're allowed to accept compliments. It's fine.
Thanks. Just keep them coming. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Anyone wants to write in a compliment to her, this is where you can find her on LinkedIn and all that kind of stuff. No, thank you for coming on. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
I love being here. Thank you so much.